The Bible says he could there in his own hometown do no mighty work, save he laid his hands on a few sick folks. The original Greek says a few people with minor ailments and healed them. And then the next verse says that he marveled because of their unbelief. They didn't have any expectation of it. They had no expectation. If you go to where a person honors the gift of God that is in you, if they honor it, I mean, boy, do they get something out of you. You know, I mean, blessed is the man who expecteth nothing, for he shall not be disappointed. I mean, you will get in life what you expect. There are some people that are so negative. They are so pessimistic. They say, man, you know, ain't nobody gonna like me. You know, I'm so big, ain't nobody gonna look at me. And you know, because of their expectation, they'll come back and see, I told you wasn't nothing gonna happen. I told you it wasn't gonna work. You have to get your hopes up. Look at your neighbor, touch him, say, get your hopes up. Hope means expectation for favorable change. Expectation for favorable change. Expectation for favorable change. Here's why you ought to have an anticipation toward God. When you come, the Bible says it in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6, it says this: for without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to him must first believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. If I have an anticipation, I don't just start it and stop it. I am diligently, because I'm expecting that if I sow this seed, I realize that it's going to come back into my life. Now, I told you that there are certain things, if you're just believing for something small, you know, it shouldn't take a long time for it. So mosquitoes multiply overnight. It's small, but an elephant, it takes 2 years to go through the gestational period. What do you want, a mosquito blessing or an elephant blessing? If it's an elephant, it's going to take time for it to germinate and to grow. You put that thing in the ground. When you plant an apple seed, that apple tree has to mature for 2 years before it'll produce the first apple. 2 years. And so there has to be an anticipation. Every farmer sows in anticipation that a harvest is coming. He's not out there just turning over dirt and going out there weeding the thing and watering the thing and fertilizing this thing just so that he can get some exercise. He's anticipating that if I sow the seed, I'm going to reap the harvest. So we have to have an expectancy. We need to expect that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. We need to expect that whatever you ask in my name, I will do it, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. That whatever, there needs to be an anticipation of it coming to pass. There needs to be an expectancy for favorable change of things turning around in your life. There has to be an expectancy that is set. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're in trouble, you need to be, every place you look, every time you open the mail, you ought to be just expecting a check coming in the mail. You know, I mean, surprise gifts in the mail. I mean, expect for debt to be canceled. You'd be surprised what happens when you begin to expect things. And here's a great deal, because expectancy causes preparation. Now, if I'm anticipating, if I'm a single person, and if I'm anticipating God to send a spouse into my life, guess what? I'm going to start getting ready for it. Don't just start praying for a husband or praying for a wife. Start praying, Lord, help me to become the answer to a prayer that this man is praying. I want you, God, to help me to become an answer to a prayer that this woman is praying for me. And so we want to become the answer to the prayer that the person is praying, so that when they see us, they can't help but to recognize us and say, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm talking about.